and welcome to Humans of Fuzia. I'm Riya Sinha, your host, and today we have the pleasure of welcoming Anne Maddison. She is the Senior Vice President of Product Development and Sourcing at Levi Strauss, and she's had a long tenure in this position, so we are so excited to welcome Anne to the show.
Thank you so much, Riya. I appreciate it. I'm very, very, very grateful and very thankful that I'm here today speaking with you. It's something that I'm extremely passionate about. I've had a long desire and passion to develop individuals in their careers, especially females. And I'm looking forward to talking to you today.
Yeah, perfect. So our first question is just briefly introduce yourself. Like, what work are you doing now and what led you to that?
Okay, I'll probably tell a little story, but my name is Anne Maddison. So I currently head up product development. So this is really the front end of working with the designers and merchandisers on the actual product, developing product at Levi Strauss and Company. As well as the sourcing organization. So sourcing, manufacturing, I oversee a global team that is responsible for really the execution of the product to get to our consumers' doorsteps. And honestly, I've been in this, I would say this career, these functions for I don't want to age myself, but for many, many, many years. So, and when I started my career actually and had a passion for this business, apparel specifically, back when I was 15 years old. I used to, actually it was Levi's product. I used to have a kind of a desire to take my friends, Levi, at the time Levi's was kind of the only jean way back then. And I used to take my friends' Levi's and I would alter them and I would go down to my parents' basement and bleach them and, basically produce a new product for them. And I quickly kind of fell in love with apparel. And then from there, I'd worked retail. I always worked retail since I was probably 15 and a half. And as soon as I graduated from college, I went to work at a kind of a company that was in Sausalito, but it was a manufacturing plant. It was a dye facility. And I knew the minute I walked into that, I know it sounds strange, but I knew the minute I walked into the manufacturing plant, the dye facility that actually was in Richmond, California at the time, I fell in love. I just knew this was where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. Not only being close to product and apparel, I love to shop, but also I was very intrigued and interested how the product came to life, and all the components that went into it. And that really inspired me. And then over the years, what inspired me even more was working with the people that created the product. And that was, to me, that was really the front end of the product.
Okay, amazing. I think that's so cool that you've had like such a similar passion for so long. And okay, my second question is also like, how does your culture or your background or your childhood inform the way that you make decisions or the decisions that you've made in your career?
So I feel like I'm a bit of an anomaly. I grew up in Berkeley, California. I was born, and I'm going to give you my age. I was born in 1967 because it helps the paint the picture, right?
That's not old. I think it's my parents' age. Don't even worry.
Okay, good. Okay, so I was born in 1967. I was born, as you know, in the height of the civil rights movement, right?
Yeah.
And Berkeley, California was where it was at. And my parents, thankfully, and they still are activists in their own right. And they taught me at an early age that it didn't matter what your cultural background, what your racial background was. It didn't. And I was actually at a very young age thrown into activism with my dad just by going to some of the civil rights movements that happened in our back door in Telegraph Avenue. And I was just, and my first visions were as a young child, you know, on my dad's shoulders, fighting. And really what I learned at an early age is that I had a desire to work with, also in my career, and be around people from all different backgrounds. And luckily, that's where, kind of fast forward to today, that's what I do every day. You know, I have factories and relationships with people in Southeast Asia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, you know, North Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia. I mean, it goes all over, South America, Brazil. So that's, to me, you know, this eye-opening experience when I was a child. I was also part of the first, not the first, I think it was the third, I'm sure you've heard about it, where the Board of Education made the decision to, it was called the busing program. Right? So I was, I think, the third generation, or the third year rather, of that program, so to speak. And you know, I'm sure you know it, but it was, you know, it took Black students and put them and bus them to predominantly white neighborhoods and white schools, and white students to predominantly Black neighborhoods. And I lived in a predominantly white area. However, I was bused to go to school kind of down on the flats. And that also, I think, really just made me, again, have this desire to be around all walks of life. And I feel like now fast forward again in this career, is I have now the ability to do that as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean, that's so inspirational, and I think I've just kind of studied that in school, but I think to be, especially in Berkeley at the height of the civil rights movement, I think the school gets its reputation definitely from that time period. So I think it's cool to see like that in real life. My next question is kind of general, so it can be about anything, but what are 3 topics that you are most passionate about?
I mean, first and foremost, and I don't mean to be repetitive, but it is a passion, just civil justice. Mm-hmm. Specifically, you know, again, around equality for everyone, regardless of race, religion, sexual orientation. That to me is a huge passion of mine. I also like to educate, especially white people, on their privilege, and trying, because I'm a white person and I can use my voice and my experience in trying to educate them on what injustice looks like and feels like through real life stories of my family. My children are of mixed race and have experienced, unfortunately, a lot of racism, and my ex-husband, who I'm very close with, also as well. So I can help other white people understand through my stories of what it means when we say, you know, currently today, you know, Black lives don't matter the way they should, right? Like it's a real thing. And we need to change society, especially I feel like the white community, and helping them understand and educating them. So that's a big one for me. I would say that's a huge passion. If you think passion, obviously what I do every day, I mean, I would not be in my career after 31 years after I graduated college if I didn't love it every day. And so I'm very passionate about apparel, about product, about the industry as a whole. That is something that I'm extremely passionate about, and trying to evolve the industry too. You know, I'm focused this year starting, and it's not by any means easy feat, but starting conversations with our suppliers and really getting gender equality potentially in our supply base, which is difficult in certain cultures and areas and regions. And let's see what else. I think personally, I love to exercise. I love to be with my kids. I call it a passion. I love to walk. I enjoy just walking neighborhoods. I call them urban hikes. And it's something I guess I'm passionate about. I love doing it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a very important passion to have. So.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. And then my next question is, again, I guess back to career, but what are some of the challenges faced by you, in the initial years of your career, and do you have some present ones as well?
Yeah, I would say early on, just trying to find a corporate, and I knew I wanted to work corporate. I really enjoyed working retail, but I found I liked corporate. But finding the right community that fit my needs and requirements and allowed me, so I like to challenge the norm. And sometimes in a corporate environment, that can be really tough, right? Yeah. Sometimes corporations are pretty set in their ways. So I think over my career, and I went to many companies, not many, but a few companies, just to find the right fit, right? For me, and I wanted to find, and it was a challenge, I guess. I wanted to find a company that would allow me, I consider myself a pioneer, so I like to work on things that are either innovative or, like I said, challenging the norm, and trying to find the right company that would that had the right culture and mindset for that type of individual. And I think I finally found it in Levi Strauss and Company, and I'm sure there's others out there. But that was a challenge, right? Because I had to move around to find the right fit for me. Yeah,
definitely. And I think it's very important, like you said, to have that community to be able to thrive and grow, especially like as a woman, or even just like anyone, I feel like.
Yeah.
So on the flip side, like, I guess, what are you looking forward to in the future? Like, do you have any new opportunities or new initiatives you're excited about? I know you mentioned, you're talking to suppliers about getting gender equality there, but.
Yeah, that's one for sure. I think within our industry right now, I think traceability and transparency and sustainability are the name of the game. Like it's consumers are requiring it. So it's challenging, individuals as well as companies like ourselves to really think about and kind of thread in what it looks like for us, and being kind of this open book of open sourcing and where's your product coming from all the way to the farm, right? That's something that it's a challenge, right? But we are focused on it as a company, and personally, I'm passionate about it too. I think it's important to be transparent in this industry. So. Yeah. And it also leads to change, right? And also leads to the right change. So that's I would say another thing that I'm looking forward to. I'm also, I think this industry is ever changing, right? And the consumer puts new challenges on us as business leaders. And to me, I embrace that. And it can be a lot of fun too.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a really also important goal to have, I guess, with our current environment and like social climate that we have is just so important. And I think it's a really good future challenge. Okay, my last question is if you have any motivational message or advice for younger women who are watching this, what would you say?
Oh God, I have so much, but I'll try to keep it concise. I would say, first of all, follow your passion. And I know it's cliche, and if you don't have a passion, that's okay. It's okay. But at some point, try to find what you love to do. really try. I mean, I look back and that's what's kept me motivated for so many years and put a smile on my face for so many years when I go into the office. And it's not always easy, but I love what I do. Right. So I would say, you know, you could have many different jobs, many different careers, but try to finally get into something, if you can't up front like me at the age of 15, which is kind of unheard of, but try to at some point find something you really enjoy doing. I would also say, always speak from your authentic voice, right? You don't have to follow anyone. Just be you. I would also say, I have so much to offer.
No, keep going.
Read your audience, right? So sometimes those that stand back and listen or tend to do this, and people in my job say, you know, okay, she's not the first one in, but then when she goes in, it's more powerful and people listen, right? Versus, you know, individuals, whether it's in corporate America or anywhere, that always want to put their 2 cents in right away.
Yeah.
After time, those individuals, you start to kind of like, you don't hear them anymore, right? So I would just say, always read your audience, always stand back, always listen. Have confidence in yourself, right? Find your confidence. You will get challenged. You will not always get your way. You will have people that don't agree with you, and you'll have people that don't like you, right?
Yeah.
But if you have confidence in yourself, that's okay. You're going to get through it. And lastly, I would just say, let stuff go. Like, try to build thick skin over the years, and be empathetic with others that have different perspectives than you, and let it go. Sometimes it's not worth picking every battle.
Okay, great. I think that is a great note to end on. So thank you so much.